So this is just a quick one on the new Gran Turismo 7 update 1.49, I think it is, for July 2024. I just wanted to talk about the force feedback real quick. So I'll talk about max torque in a second, but I just want to go through force feedback sensitivity because a lot of people don't seem to understand what it does. So the higher the force feedback sensitivity is, the less amount of damping you get in the steering wheel. So if I put this on 10, and if I just start driving, and if I put it in second and let go of the wheel, do you see how kind of the wheel's like super erratic, like this? And look, and then you just get a tank slapper super easily. Just do that again. So if I just touch the wheel slightly, you get this tank slapper way too easily, and that would never happen in real life. So 10 is too high. So I've been playing around with it, and it does kind of depend on the car a little bit, but generally speaking, 5 to 6 feels absolutely fine. So if I carry on now, the wheel feels a bit more kind of sloppy. It's the best way I can describe it. But it's more realistic because you're not going to get a tank slapper super easily in real life like that. I can still trigger one, but it's much less erratic and more predictable, if that makes any sense. I will say that the difference between 1 and 10 really isn't massive, and it's quite a subtle change. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you have it too low, the wheel does become kind of sloppy, and you do lose quite a bit of detail as to what the road wheels are doing. So yeah, hopefully that helps. As for the torque, this really depends on the car you're driving. Let me just put that down to 5 again. So like in the car I'm driving now, 7 feels good. 8, it definitely starts to clip. It even clips at 7 slightly, depending on the situation and the tyres you've got on and stuff. So I'd say that's the MX-5 as like a moderate amount of downforce. So 6 to 7 is fine for this particular car. And then if you're in something with super high downforce, like one of the F1 cars in the game, 7's going to be way too high and you'll just clip. So for in the super high downforce cars, I would go 5 to 6. And then in the low downforce, low powered cars, like really I would leave it at like between 5 and 7. I've heard of people really cranking up the force feedback torque in these street cars, for example like a Citroen DS3, which I don't see the point in doing. I don't know if you've ever driven a DS3 in real life, but the steering in that car is super like over servoed. It's very easy to steer no matter what speed you're doing, because you get so much assistance from the power steering, and it's like that by design to make it really easy to drive around through the city and park up and stuff. So if you crank the force feedback torque up in the game in a car like that, you're kind of artificially trying to get it to feel like a race car, which it's never going to do. It's just not the type of car it is. So yeah, in this kind of car, where you do a fair bit of downforce, but it's also a really light car and not particularly quick, 7 is about the max you want to do on the T300 before you start getting clipping. If you want to be safe, just go 5 or 6. And then if you're in a really high downforce car, like an F1 car or something, I would say 5, 6 maybe, but again it depends on a lot of things like the tyres you're running, the weather conditions, the downforce you've got set up on the tune, and things like that. So yeah, hopefully this helps. So again, with this, the lower the setting, the more dampened the steering is. The higher the setting, the more true one-to-one kind of force feedback you get in between the steering wheel and the wheels on the road, which is going to cause quite twitchy, erratic steering, and tank slappers with the T300 if you have it set to 10. And then this, anywhere from 5 to 7, I would say, with 5 being for the super high downforce cars and 7 being something like this MX-5, where it's a light car with kind of moderate downforce. So yeah, hopefully this clears things up, and I hope it helps. Just on a side note, it could be coincidence, but I do feel like the physics have changed slightly to make it easier to catch oversteer. But that could just be because I've been playing a lot of WRC recently, which is all you're doing is catching oversteer, like drifting. So yeah, it does feel a little more forgiving, but again, take that with a grain of salt. So I've not been playing this game anywhere near as much as I used to, because I've been into rally, but I'm going to get back into it now because I'm still a rank A+ for multiplayer, so yeah, I think it would be fun to get back into it. Am I A+? Double check. Plus there's been such a drought of decent games coming out this year. It's pretty shocking, to be honest. So look. It's completely unrelated to the subject matter, so you might as well just close the video now. Yeah, A+S, just barely. So yeah, hopefully this